2, 1.
What we are doing today is a representation of what public service and government is all about. Regional Medical Center has long been such an important asset in the eastern part of our county, a life-saving asset that has transformed so many families' lives. Bringing regional into Santa Clara Valley Healthcare System, integrating it, providing holistic care, care with a level of excellence and commitment, is going to transform lives. It's going to save lives.
We are restoring critical, life-saving services to our community through this important acquisition. With the reopening of RMC, Regional Medical Center, under our county's guidance.
Today we're saying loud and clear, if you live in the east side or the surrounding areas, your life, your health, and your family matters. It's about ensuring that where you live doesn't determine whether you live.
We know how important it is to have quality health care close to home. When my father was hit by a car and left on the side of the road, he was taken to Regional Medical Center. When my mother-in-law had a stroke, she was brought to Regional Medical Center. For years, the Regional Medical Center staff has been part of our family, and now I am so proud to be able to say that I'm part of yours.
This county has saved access to health care for tens of thousands of San Jose and other nearby residents.
Our county will continue to provide access to care no matter what happens. And I think that's really the strength of this county. When everything seems to be going backwards nationally, here we are in Santa Clara County moving forward.
It's a really exciting moment for all those in the county who really need and have not had access to the care they deserve in East San Jose. County is so excited to take over operation of Regional Medical Center to restore trauma services, stroke services, STEMI services, and to be able to deliver amazing care to residents of East San Jose.
When people talk about healthcare service, people talk about the accessibility of those services. Back in 2020, the labor and delivery service at Regional Medical Center was closed. It is also our intention to bring back that important service to the community. Along with trauma, stroke services, and STEMI, heart attack care, we're talking about critical services that we have to bring back to the community to save lives and to change lives.
All right, so welcome everyone to today's info session. So the video that you just watched was filmed during the reopening of the Regional Medical Center as part of the Santa Clara Valley Healthcare System. So the Deputy Director of Facilities Operations position oversees facilities operations within our hospital system. And this video showcases some of the amazing work that this role will support. So with that said, my name is Adrian Kudal, and I will be the co-moderator of today's info session. And I will now pass it over to my colleague Kendra, who will lead us through the rest of today's discussion.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our virtual session for the Deputy Director, Facilities Operations Recruitment. As Adrian mentioned, my name is Kendra Conrad, and I am from the Executive Services team here at the County of Santa Clara, and I am the recruiter who is overseeing this recruitment. The purpose of today's session is really to give you, our prospective candidates, a chance to learn more about the position, as well as help you decide if this leadership role is the right fit for you. Joining us today is our wonderful hiring authority, the Facilities Director of County of Santa Clara's Health System, Narsima Arinki. Narsima, would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself?
All right. Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Kendra. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Narsima Rinki, and I'm the current Director of Facilities for the Santa Clara Valley Healthcare, the health system, which includes 4 hospitals and several clinics. I've been here for the last 4 years. I've also worked for Kaiser Health System for 8 years. as their support service administrator, overseeing facilities, EVS, security, food services, and the other ancillary functions. Before that, I was their director of facilities at San Mateo Medical Center, working for the County of San Mateo for 10 years. Similar position, overseeing their facilities operations and capital projects. And prior to that, I was at Community Hospital in Monterey for 12 years. I was overseeing the plant operations. Started off as a chief engineer, and rise into the leadership positions over the last 33 years in facilities operations. In terms of compliance, I'm also a life safety code surveyor with Joint Commission. Joint Commission, as you all know, inspects hospitals, and I've been with them for the last 20 years. So an extensive background on facilities, and I'm looking forward to discussing more about this position.
Great. Thank you so much, Narsima. It's great to hear more about your background and really what led you to the County of Santa Clara. Okay, so for today's session, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at what this role involves, the impact it has on our workforce, as well as the greater community. We're also going to discuss what success looks like for leaders in this space, along with the essential knowledge and experience that's required for this role. We have received some great questions from our audience, and we've done our best to weave them in throughout this discussion. Of course, if you have any additional questions that you'd like to ask, you can use the chat box in Zoom to ask those questions, and we'll do our best to answer those during the Q&A later. So with that, let's jump right in. Are you ready for our first question, Narsima?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So please describe the primary purpose of the Deputy Director Facilities Operations position and how it contributes to the department's mission. If you want to include the reporting structure as well, that would be great, and just highlight the main responsibilities of this role.
Right. Thank you, Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
This is a key executive position within our health system for facilities operations. This position will be overseeing daily planned operations, maintenance, which includes all of our trades, and overseeing some of the support services functions, including biomedical engineering, telecom, and trades, and also overseeing our work order system, the computerized maintenance management system, and working with the staff across the multiple hospitals, and overseeing our both repair, maintenance, small projects, capital projects, working along with our projects team, and having knowledge with the HCI, or we used to call OSHPAR, would definitely be beneficial for this position. So overall, it's a critical executive function, working with the leadership team, the management team, the staff, all the way from whether it's a work center manager or a maintenance project manager. We have chief engineers, we have station engineers, we have trades, and we have maintenance technicians. So it's a 24/7 operation, and it's a critical position that would maintain safety and maintaining the condition of our facilities.
Great. Thank you for that information. What would you say is the biggest challenge for this role right now?
Yes, that's a great question. So as we see with any healthcare system, aging infrastructure is a huge issue. Facilities get old, so we have to make sure that we have a good maintenance program. We need to make sure that we have proper policies and procedures. At the same time, we are also seeing a workforce shortage, so we're critically missing competency. So we have to put a lot of emphasis on whether it's a good hiring practices, bringing people who are qualified, and also maintaining good training and certifications. So ongoing training is also essential. So workforce shortage, aging infrastructure are the key challenges that we deal with the current in the health system.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. So next, I do want to dive in and just discuss some of the qualifications that we're looking for. And after I go over those items, I'll then pass it over to Narsima to discuss what it is he's looking for in an ideal candidate for this role. So the employment standards for this position require training and experience equivalent to a bachelor's degree in engineering, architecture, construction, public or business administration, or some sort of a related field. And then in addition to that, the position also requires 5 years of recent facilities management experience, which has included the supervision of trades or maintenance staff within a large public or private organization. In addition to those minimum requirements, it is going to be really critical that the person stepping into this role does have experience overseeing facilities operations within a healthcare setting or clinical operations setting. And then additionally, we're also looking for someone that has experience with union partners as well in a complex operational environment. There are also some certifications that would be really great if people had, including certified healthcare facilities manager, um, certified healthcare safety professional, certified facilities manager, or even a professional engineering license in mechanical, electrical, or civil or structural engineering. So I know that was a lot of information, but those are some of the key components we are looking for. Narsima, would you like to add anything regarding what it is you're looking for in an ideal candidate?
Sure. Thank you, Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, again, as I said, this is an executive level function. We're looking for somebody who has extensive experience in facilities operations, especially in the healthcare setting. Acute care hospital setting would be helpful, or teaching institution. Large healthcare systems would be, because of we do have multiple hospitals and several clinics. And when we talk about clinics, these are specialized clinics throughout the county, and these are not small buildings, but large buildings. So quite an extensive infrastructure portfolio we have within the health system. So somebody who has worked in the healthcare setting, worked in the acute care setting, somebody who has dealt with plant operations, who has maintenance background, who clearly understand the programs and policies that is part of the facilities operations. Also having experience with the licensing and accreditation standards, whether it's Joint Commission, whether it's CDPH or the California Department of Public Health. A lot of OSHA. We deal with a lot of Occupational Safety and Health Administration, EPA, local fire marshal, local water agency, sewer or sanitary storm. All of these different things that we deal with within the healthcare. So that's number one priority for our focus on the facilities operations. Along with that, the biomedical engineering is a key component, clinical engineering. EVS and food services experience and security, overseeing security functions is also a support. Those are support functions. But again, if somebody has good background in facilities and has good understanding of the rest of what we call the environment of care, physical environment would be really helpful. For this position, since it's an executive level position, they should have good communication skills, able to work both up and down, both along when you go above manager level, leadership level, or go up to the staff level, able to communicate at both levels, up and down within the organization. That's very, very key and in the team approach. Somebody who has a good communication skills, teams building skills, motivation, making sure that the staff are up to the game, ready to work, which is becoming more and more critical. Along with that, any engineering background, certifications, definitely would like to see somebody who has challenged themselves to have some of these certifications, because those actually add a value to what we do within the healthcare setting. So these are some of the things, attributes that we are looking for this position.
Thank you so much, Narsima. What does success look like in this role, or what will success look like in this role? And specifically, what departmental goals will this successful individual need to achieve within the next 6 to 12 months, or beyond that in the long term?
Yes. So the success is based on several metrics. We do have key performance metrics that we track, whether it is, trying to understand, somebody coming in new obviously will take time. They want to understand the complete the structure, whether it's a staffing structure or the different facilities we have, getting to know all the buildings. That's number one. Sometimes on day one, when I joined, I was just giving a quick example. Day one, when I joined, there's a huge water break, so and things like
Wow.
that can happen. So you're coming into something that it's a critical mission, because you have patients, so you have to really be ready to take that challenge, and then utilize your previous skills, that whether it is a different healthcare system or this healthcare system, able to connect the dots, and be prepared to be upfront, be transparent, be communicative, be responsive, and be there to be ready to go to address the problem. Be vulnerable, take chance, and be ready. So that's kind of the expectation that we are looking into this position. So for the first 6 months, definitely somebody who can improve our work order processing. We're looking at, if it is right now we're at like 80% completion rate. So I'm looking to up the numbers to 90 plus completion rate. So reduce the response time and increase the completion rate. So that's kind of a short term. And the long term goal would be to make sure that within 2 years we will be ready for our accreditation survey. I want to make sure that we maintain a reputation and make sure that we pass through without any kind of substantial or significant findings. So if you last 2 years ago, last year actually, we had the survey. We ended up with some corrective findings, but very minimized compared to previous years. So every year we're decreasing. So I would expect anybody coming into the position to have those understanding of the Joint Commission standards and the licensing standards, so that we keep minimizing this number of findings. And then lastly, the long-term goal is to make sure that we improve our infrastructure. So take a capital project, manage the budget, scope, and time, and make sure that the projects are on time, completion within the scope, and then able to take over from the projects team and successfully put them functional for the patient care.
Great. Thank you so much. It sounds like you really had to hit the ground running when you first started, with there being a huge
Yes.
water line break when you first joined us.
Yeah.
Also great to hear that corrective findings have gone down. That's a great accomplishment. Okay. Can you describe the in-person work expectations for the deputy director role and how those expectations really support the team and service delivery of this position?
Yes. This is again very much in person, being there for the staff. So just an example, every day at 8 o'clock, rain or shine, whatever happens, we have our daily huddle, daily operations huddle. So all of our managers join right at 8 o'clock. We go through anything that's happened 24 hours before in 24 hours, what's happening coming up in the next 24 hours, safety issues, staffing issues, high risk issues that we need to address. So you can imagine that this position very much in person, being with the team, meeting with the team, and be ready to report out at this 8 o'clock because this position will be representing multiple units. So all of those managers are still on the call, but you would be already prepared to make sure that you report out anything high risk that's happening so that we can take an action. So there'll be ongoing meetings throughout the day. There will be meetings throughout with the leadership structure, whether it's going to be with the other department managers, other hospital leaders. We also have, everybody knows probably, who worked in the healthcare system is the environment of care rounds. Every week, we have these rounds that we need to go through. We work with our quality and regulatory team. We join those rounds and then have a critical eye looking at any of the physical environmental issues that's happening. If you're not there, you can't see those things. And lastly, it's the project management. When we have a lot of construction happening on our facilities, whether seismic projects, infrastructure upgrades, TI projects, maintenance repair projects. So this position should be able to be with the team, project and interact with the project managers, make sure that the project is moving forward without any challenges. Along with that, whether it's an infection control issue, or whether it's a life safety surveyor showing up on our, which happens, the fire marshals come on our site and say, okay, I would like to meet somebody right now. Or a CDPH surveyor comes on site and say, well, you guys did a shutdown last week. We would like to look at the records. So it's very important for this position to be visible, available, and ready to go at any time. So on-site, being in person is very critical.
Great, thank you. How would you describe the department's culture and the morale of staff? And if you could also share some of your personal experience working in the organization, that would be great as well.
Excellent. Great question. This is what makes or breaks our team. This is very important that we have to make sure that the staff are motivated and go to work. So our culture here is that from my side, I want to make sure that I'm very transparent, I'm available, I'm responsive, I'm accessible. And my job is to make sure that I give all the resources that are essential to get their job done. And I have open hours every day. I have open hours from 9 to 10 and 3 to 4. My doors are open. So in case anybody from whether it's a station engineer or maintenance mechanic, all the way up to the deputy directors, anybody can walk in during that time and address any kind of issues. That's kind of the culture we built over the time, making sure that nobody is unheard. And at the same time, we also want to have people to have fun. When I say fun, means that we enjoy what we do, we take pride on what we do, we take challenges as they come in, and when it's completed, the work is completed, obviously we celebrate and then we move on to the next thing. So it's a very team approach, it's a cohesive, good group. The day starts off, as I said, a daily operations huddle. That's when you actually see everybody. You actually see and interact. And by the meeting is done, you're in a good feeling that I have all of these people around me. A EBS person thinking that I need facilities help. A food services team person is thinking that some equipment is down, I need help. They are on the call. They're right there. So it's a very open team approach, and we celebrate success. I should also tell you that it is challenging. Definitely, facilities is a 24/7. So we have text groups, we have Teams chats, we have cell phones. We communicate pretty often. We also have some on-call schedules, people coming, making sure that people are available 24/7. So overall, in my 4 years, I've enjoyed working at the county. I worked in the private health system and I worked in the public health system. I can tell you the difference between a private healthcare system. We used to solve problems by yes, you have more money, and we could say, okay, I'm going to solve this problem by buying 10 pumps, let's say, for example. But in a public health system, we are responsible. We are actually dealing with the public money. So we have to be physically frugal and responsible for how much we spend. We have a lot of resources that not to take it wrong, that I've seen more resources here in the county compared to any other system. So I enjoyed the benefit of using those resources, and but plan in advance. We had to plan in advance because everything has a process. It has to go to the board. The board has to approve. So if you plan it well, then you're very successful. So it's an overall good culture within the department, good culture within the health system, good culture across in the enterprise, within the county structure. Everybody is ready to help. We have, groups that you can approach. It is an HR function, whether it is the labor relations, whether it is, the risk management. All teams are available to support each other. So I enjoyed working here for the last 4 years.
Fabulous. Thank you. Yeah, this is definitely a critical role and very challenging at times. And so it's really great to hear how you provide such a supportive work environment on your team. And I agree, across the county, it's a great environment to work in as well. So thank you so much. I want to take a moment just to discuss the recruitment process. So currently the position is posted. Some of you who are attending have already applied. This recruitment is scheduled to remain open until the position is filled, and we are looking to do our first major review of applications on Monday, August 24th. So if you're considering applying, please do get your application in by that date. From there, we'll be screening for employment standards. And so applicants who meet the minimum qualifications or employment standards of the position will then go into a competitive screening phase based on some of the attributes we've discussed today. And then from there, we will be identifying candidates who will be invited to our interview process, and interviews will likely take place sometime in September. So that's more information regarding the process itself. And if you have any questions, I know we'll be saying this later on in the session, but do feel free to reach out to me if you have any other process-related questions such as that. And we've covered the information that we've prepared today. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Q&A session and address some of the questions we've received as this session has been in progress. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Adrian.
All right, folks, just give me one sec. Add pin. All right, so back to me momentarily. So I'm just gonna, so again, just where we would like to remind everybody, you're more than welcome to drop your questions in the chat, the Q&A chat box. So what I'll be doing is I'll be, relaying that over to Narsima and for him to respond to each of them. All right. So, Narsima, our very first question. So, I have a feeling some of these items have already been answered, but just in case there's anything else that you would like to add to them, please feel free. So, first question would be, how does the organization measure success for facilities operations, and what performance indicators would the deputy director ultimately be accountable for improving?
Great question again. I think we kind of touched a little bit on those. So I always believe in two things. One, it's a person approach and a process approach. So definitely both are important. Whether it's a personal behavioral aspects of it, how you come across, dealing with the other managers, dealing with an issue. Sometimes the issue is that you have to take action, kind of take different approaches. So I would probably we were looking for somebody who has both has that behavioral aspect of it and then the technical aspect of it. When I say technical, we're looking at both leadership aspects, whether it's a high reliability principles, whether it's a performance improvement. We're big on process improvements. So everything has a way of doing things. I always take one example is if there's a leak, in the ceiling, we always go back and keep fixing those leaks, but not understanding the root cause. So if you have a process, if you really break down why the leak is happening, you probably have, typically if the leak happens, somebody calls, you fix it, and the leak happens again, a leak happens again. Whereas if you go into root cause, ask 5 times, why the leak has happened, why, you probably get to the answer, okay, why that's happening. And then you want to make changes. So create standard operating procedures, improve the process, and then reduce the recurring things that are happening again and again. So that's the first kind of expectation. So we want to measure we call the mean time between failures. Okay, so in the same location, if it is happening multiple times, so reduce the mean time between failures. Then we improve the response time for all of the work orders that are coming in. And then the completion rate should be 90 plus. That's kind of a prescriptive number I'm just throwing out, but we definitely would like to improve that completion rate. So those are kind of these successful measures. Somebody is coming in, understanding, developing the rapport, developing the relationship, and then of course hitting some of these key metrics.
All right. Thank you. All right. So for the next question, so what would you consider, and I think this is something that you have also highlighted in our about the position section, but if there's anything that you would like to rank as your top 2, so what would be the top 2 or 3 priorities for the deputy director during their first 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, that's actually another attribute or an aspect of this position is that we do have several maintenance infrastructure projects. So this position, we will have a program planning, make sure that those we have a facilities condition assessment that's completed 2-3 years ago. We have several in the pipeline. So this position will oversee the what we call the deferred maintenance and the backlog. Look at all the backlogs and the deferred maintenance projects, assign a priority, and then secure the budgets and then plan when they will be completed. So that's kind of the priority I'm looking at for the backlog or the deferred maintenance projects. Along with that, there's a lot of capital improvement projects the next 10 years. There's a master plan that's developed. So we want to make sure that we provide assistance to the projects team so that facilities operations plays a key role in providing some of the information so that they can build on the scope of work and then use that information to complete the project. So I want to make sure that somebody who's coming into this position have that knowledge and skill set to develop a capital improvement program for our healthcare system. So this kind of the short term and the long term goals, expectations for this position.
All right, thank you. And let's take a look at the chat real quick. And yeah, I think there's like another thing that you've already addressed at the beginning, but just in case there's anything else that you would like to add. So in terms of gaps or issues, what do you feel like there's any other gaps or issues that you feel need to be addressed within the organization? Because I know you mentioned about aging facilities and then also staffing, I believe. So if there's anything that you would like to add?
Sure. We are, I would say, I wouldn't say heavily unionized, but we do have union environment. So anybody coming into this position should have good experience with the union. We have a very good labor management partnership. Um, um, Having said that, having worked in different union environments, there's always issues come up. So um, this position is definitely visible, communicating with the site administrators and making sure that they be proactive in responding to these union concerns. All you have to do is if you try to ignore the problem becomes bigger. We always need to be proactive, get in front of the problem and address those issues and be responsive to communication. You cannot discount, the unions or neither we shift away from our management policies. It's a very tight balance that we have to go through. So it's always a win-win situation. I would put it that way. It's a win-win situation. Otherwise, we don't go ahead. It becomes a stall. It'd be a stumbling block that nobody's successful. So we have to give in. We have to give, but again, you have to put the foot down and make sure that we are not deviating from any of the county policies or our procedures. So it's always a balance. So I would say that union it will be encountering this position, will be encountering issues with union requesting, anything like grievances, addressing the grievances, working with the labor relations. We have to make sure that the county has labor relations team. Then we also have the council. County council is another team. So typically we may not see this in other healthcare systems, but public sector, you have both labor relations and council. So we can't unilaterally make decisions. We have to work with the full team before we make the final decision. So that could be a change, but it is something that can be easily manageable and addressed.
All right. Thank you, Narsima. So another question that came in. So how would you describe the morale of the division and sentiment towards the division?
Yeah, so you always have, I wouldn't paint a perfect picture, but there's always challenges. Let's understand that. But one of the important things is that you have to take advantage of certain things. For example, especially let's say you talk about staffing. A lot of times you hear about staffing issues. So with the things that we need to leverage is standardization. You have to standardize. So that's an important aspect. Technology, take advantage of the technology. Things are changing pretty rapidly, whether it's AI or something else. There's a lot of things that we need to bring into facilities operations. So standardization, technology, and not to mention the process improvement, which I talked heavily on, in the previous discussion about if you don't have a process, then we fail. We have to have a process for everything what we do. So when you have all of these elements, all of these things built in, then we're all successful as a team. So people staying out of that process may feel, and the change is happening, right? The changes are happening pretty rapidly. So adapt to the change and be with the team and be, improve, refine your communication. You can't, there are days are gone when you become really upset with something. You can't do that anymore. People are sensitive. So you really have to refine your communication work as a collective team, understand and the listening skills. These are important things that we tend to ignore. Listen what the other person is saying before you say something. So if we keep these things in check and be honest and transparent, which is what we try to do on my side, and I make sure all the managers are doing the same thing, we have a very good culture so far. At least that's what I've seen in the last 3-4 years within our system.
All right, thank you, Narsima. All right, so before we continue on with our Q&A, I just want to, do a quick promotion of our county's executive recruitment page. So if you want to learn more and hopefully apply to this role and many other executive leadership job opportunities for the county of Santa Clara, I dropped this in the chat, by the way. Please go to www.sccjobs.org/exec recruitment. So in here, you will also learn how it's like to work as an executive leader in the county, as shared with us, like with several testimonials from our actual current executives in the county of Santa Clara. And also in this portal, you'll explore our very generous executive leadership benefits packages, such as our pension, retirement investment plans, both pre-tax and post-tax, our county paid term life insurance, our 39 days of annual leave that comes with cash out options, tuition reimbursement, and many others. So again, this landing page aims to showcase the many reasons why you should choose the County of Santa Clara for your next executive leadership role. And again, the website is www.sccjobs.org/exec recruitment. And as I mentioned, I dropped that question in the chat. That URL in the chat. All right, so looks like we have time for one final question. So, Narsima, how do you see the deputy director balancing immediate operational needs with longer-term capital planning, infrastructure renewal, and sustainability?
Great question. So this is a struggle. This is where I would simplify it this way. We have to keep what's running right now. We have to keep the operations going. We also have to look for the future. So it's a tight balance. So we need operational resources. We also need capital resources. If you're not prepared for the future, then we are not ready. I come from my experience where I used to only think about preventive maintenance. Okay, I want to maintain this. I want to maintain this. And it took a while for me to understand that, well, while maintaining, you also need to build. There's more service lines happening, more consolidation is happening, more technology and changes are happening. A new MRI, new CT, a lab, or a pharmacy that's coming online. So while maintaining the operations, which is very critical because you still have patients here. You can't walk away from thinking that we're going to build a new hospital in 10 years. You still have to maintain existing operations, existing infrastructure, while building that pipeline for the future project. So it's a balancing act. It is something that we have to inculcate in our daily meetings, whether it's strategic. The key to this is strategic planning. That's why it's important to have that planning in place so that that is your roadmap, where we are going versus maintaining the existing facilities versus going, advancing to make sure that we build new infrastructure. So it's a tight balance. I understand people work in the facilities, but it's something that we have to deal and then take advantage of these planning sessions, the strategic planning, networking, collaboration with the national benchmarking societies. These are all the things that we take advantage so that we have a good balance between operation challenges versus the future, along with the sustainability goals. Climate change is happening. Energy efficiency is is a big issue. Our county has a sustainability goal, so we have to make sure that we hit those marks by planning for the future, whether it's infrastructure or whether it's a water audit or an energy saving project. So it's a tight balance. I would say.
Understood. Wow. I mean, I feel like, yeah, it's so many like things to consider, right? And then, yeah, I think, overall, people out there who like these types of challenges, I think this is going to be like, a perfect spot or position that they should consider. All right.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'm going to hand it back to my colleague Kendra to do our closing message. Give me
All
one
right.
second. Let me just pin you up, Kendra, at
Okay.
10. All right.
Sounds
There you
good.
are. Thank you,
Hello.
Narsima.
Thank you both for walking us through those questions that we received. I would like to take a moment to thank all of our participants today. We really hope that this session has been insightful and that you're excited to consider a career with us at the County of Santa Clara. I want to thank Narsima and Adrian as well for your participation today in this webinar. If any of our participants have any additional questions about the recruitment or questions regarding your qualifications as it relates to this position, feel free to send me an email at kendra.conrad@esa.sccgov.org. I would love to hear from you. Also, we are always interested in improving these informational sessions. So if you found this conversation to be helpful, or if you have ideas on how we can improve in the future, please take the time to complete a brief survey that will be going out to you after this session ends. And one of the last things we would like to do is give Narsima a moment to give us a closing comment about this role. So the final question that we have, or I guess questions we have for you, is why this role, why now, and why the County of Santa Clara?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Adrian. So we had this, one of the deputy directs retired, so that's the position opened up, and we were moving forward to recruit this position. This is one of the executive level positions. So anybody who has good, strong experience in facilities operations, that would be the best fit. It'll be challenging, but at the same time, it'd be rewarding because you're working for one of the, counties, county hospitals. There's only few county hospitals left in the country. There's, I think, 10 or something. It's not a big number. And very well run county operations. So, and then the health system is growing. The healthcare needs are growing. So this position would be it's an excellent opportunity for anybody who has this facilities background and having the understanding of all of the different aspects of facilities, and the resources are, I would say, not abundant, but it's more resources than what I've seen in other healthcare systems. So I was blown away when I thought I have this many resources, but in I county, it's just much more wider opportunities. There's more, and also this transferability skills. We county is a big system. Whether it's this department, there's different several agencies within the county, so there's always opportunities for movement. So, but again, I welcome everybody to take a critical look at the requirements, and definitely whoever has that skill set would definitely enjoy this taking over this position.
Well said. Thank you so much, Narsima. Well, with that, that concludes this informational session. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.